Alright, it's another exam project tutorial for your viewing pleasure. I know that you really want to learn how to read your data out of the spreadsheet that you set up and figured out how to remotely enter data to it in the last tutorial. I have cleaned mine up and added a few data pieces, but this is useless to us unless we can read from it. So let's figure out how to do that. Luckily for us, it's really easy. So let's set up a read Google data function. And I went ahead and put that into the bottom of underneath the submit form call when our test is over, because we're probably going to need to display this information after the test. Like, you'll want to tell the person how they did. Alright, we only need 2 lines here really. We need a variable for the URL of the Google Sheet, and that variable is a little bit tricky. I'm going to link the template for this. I'm going to put it in the description of this video, but it is right here. And it's very crucial that this says alt equals JSON. And then you'll see I have a spreadsheet ID here. You need to take your spreadsheet ID from the spreadsheet where the responses are stored, not the form. Remember, we used the form ID last time. Now we need the spreadsheet ID. So you're going to take the ID from where the responses are stored there and paste that between list and /1. And then last is just a simple AJAX call to get the data. And then when it's successful, we want to return it. And we also want to log it so that we can see what it looks like, because that is the trickiest part of all of this. Alright, assuming you have the read Google data call and the function set up, you can save it. You can upload it to your folder over here. And you can go ahead and refresh your test and go ahead and take it. And what you get back, you can ignore this. This is what you're looking for, the return object. So similarly to how we drilled into the Yahoo Finance return, we need to do that here. So data, every time you hit a triangle, it's dot. So data dot feed dot, let's see, data dot feed dot. Okay, so what we're actually looking at is we're looking for the entry category. Entry is all of the content in the page. So we're going to go ahead and open the entry up. Just looking for some other site. We're going to open entry up, and this is actually every row in your data table, from 0 to 8. That's every row in your data table. So entry is an array, and each one of these is an object. So in each object, data.entry, entry is an array. Each object has, looks like some more properties. Let's see, title, ID, what's ID? That's not it. Ooh, content. Oh, cool. Alright, so each object has content, and you'll see how this content is structured. Money sign T is what's in the cell, and the type is the type of cell it is. This is text. And you can see actually on yours you'll have different values here, but after the colon will be the actual values in each cell. And that's accurate. That's how it should look. So our challenge is going to be to get each one of those out. And I can't show you how to do this in every single way possible, but I can show you how to take money sign T here and extract the information. And that's certainly what we need to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, it's data.entry, and then that's an array of objects. So what we need to do is we need to write a function or some code here that removes each of these values from the money sign T property of the content object in the array. Yay! So make a variable. We'll say entries equals data.feed.entry. And we're going to want to loop through each of those, so we'll make a little for loop. So then entries length plus. Cool. We'll make an object. It's a current object. Let's go ahead and just get the we'll just get the highest level one. So that'll be entries at I. Okay. And we're almost there. We need to do current object.content is where the content lives. And then I guess you could say dot money sign T, because you don't need to worry about the type. So we got current entry dot content dot money sign T. All right, before we move on, let's just make sure that's actually logging appropriately so that we are getting the correct value. We'll go ahead and do that. Gotta take it again. All right, so we're correctly logging an array. Oh, no, oh, there we go. Oh, it's actually logging in the loop. Good. So we're correctly logging the content in each one of these pages. So it's a string, and it's definitely separated by these. Okay. So actually, you can kind of see that number sign messed up the column titles. For real this time, there's a title. But you know, we want to write a function that'll work regardless of what the columns are called, because we don't really care what they're called. It just aids in reading it. We just want to know, we know the order that it's in, and we want to know what the values are. So we basically just need to make a simple CSV function that stops at each comma. So the way that you do that is it's another for loop. It's going to start at 0. It's got to be less than the length of that content string. And we're going to increment k by 1 each time. And we basically want to find a comma, get the values before that comma, and then continue to do this as we go through the function. So let's see. For variable k equals 0, we can, well, I'll just show you how to read each one of these. So we'll say variable item to read is a string. Okay, so we want to know if k is a comma. If it's a comma, we need to do something. So if it's a comma, what we're looking for is we're looking to get the substring from, interesting, from the comma backwards 3 places. Although it looks like if it's only 1 digit, then 3 places will be too many. We basically need to go between the comma and the semicolon. So we need to do something with substrings between the comma and the semicolon. How can we do that? Well, let's try just a little bit simply first. We'll try getting item to read is equal to content.substring. And we want to go from k minus 3 to k. Right, so we want to start where the comma is and go back 3 places, probably 2 places actually. Let's see if that works. Oh, we should probably log this too to see if it's working right. This is definitely not going to work as far as production quality goes. Okay. All right, so as you can see, it does absolutely nothing. What just happened? Did it load this appropriately? That's weird. Got it in there. K is a comma. Maybe 3 equal signs was too many. Let's try that. Very odd problem. Alright, hold on a second. Billy, it's content at K. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. You know it's been a long day when? Okay, now if Mr. Myers isn't stupid again, this will work. Well, I mean, it won't work, but it'll at least show us that it's not working. Which would be an ironic celebration. Hooray, we know it's not working. Alright, so there you go. So this is logging each of these values. But you'll notice, though, it doesn't hit the last one, right? Because absolutely doesn't quite work. So maybe what we should probably do is we should probably write a little bit better of a function. We should figure out a way to do the substring from the colon to the next closest comma. And there is a way to do that function. So instead of looping through the entire string piece here, what we can do is we can split content. We can say variable. I guess we could say. Actually, we could just say content equals content.split at the comma. Now, what split does is it breaks content into an array of items split by the character that you specify. So if we do this now, we can get rid of this if statement. If we do this now and we log what each entry in content is, it should be a nice looking array that'll let us do this much, much more easily. So here's our test, take the test, take the test, take the test, take the test. All right, and absolutely. Now in the array, you see each item. So what we can do, and this is what really makes it nice, is that we can take the substring from the from the colon to the end of the item in content, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to say item to read is equal to content.substring. Oh, but we have to check to see if that item is a colon first. So if content, no, sorry, we could say item to read is equal to item to read dot substring, or excuse me, content at k dot substring, and we want the substring to start at the index of the colon, so we have to say content at k dot, I think it's a, is it dot search for a colon. And we want it to go as long until it's at the length of the string, probably -1. And let's see if that works. Looks like it's getting that colon as well. So maybe instead of searching for the colon, we should search for a space and then add 1 to the value, because it looks like if we just do the character, it'll only get that, it'll include that character, which we don't want it to actually. Okay, let's try it this way. Looks like that +1 messed it up. You know what I think you have to do? I think you have to enclose that whole thing in parentheses. I'm not sure though. Oh, maybe just... Let's see if that works. Enclosing the whole thing in parentheses. I don't think it does though, I'll be honest with you. Come on, Bootstrap. Oh, hey. It's dying. There we go. Okay, we're seeing if it works. No, it messed up again. Very interesting. Alright, how about this? Let's make a variable for index equals content at k.search for a space. And then let's add 1 to the index in here. That should work. Whee! No, it didn't. No, that doesn't make sense though. Do we think there's a space in each? You know what? I bet there's a space. All right, let's just go back to doing this, searching for the semicolon, not the space. And instead of adding 1, we'll just add 2, because there must be spaces in the beginning that are screwing it up. I bet that's what's doing it. See, we weren't even coding it wrong. We weren't even coding it wrong at all. It was just doing exactly what we told it to, which is unfortunately not what we wanted it to do. Yay! There you go. Alright, so in this video we figured out how to read data from your Google Spreadsheet database that is incredibly jerry-rigged, which is amazing. And then we also figured out how to parse that data into individual pieces, which you'll definitely need for the next part, where we're going to turn some of that data into a graph. But that's not going to happen now. That's a story for another video, and until next time, sayonara.